Hello, everyone. It is well. It is well. That's for somebody. The Lord gave me that word in December. So there was a situation with one of my children. My children, all three of them are adults, and wasn't death, anything like that. But it was something. You know how it is if something's going wrong or something with your child. It does affect you, and I trust God with everything. Their lives, their journeys. The seed was sown. They were trained in the way they should go. But they're growing. They have their own lives, and I just trust that God is directing their path, even if when they don't know that He is. But I got some news that really pulled on my heartstrings. That it was bothering me, and each day leading up to Christmas, I was feeling heavier and heavier. So fast forward, I just was seeking the Lord, just trying to keep the right attitude about, I don't control anything. I can pray. That's the best gift that I can give anyone or do, and encouraging my son to seek the Lord too. Well, one morning I woke up at 4:23 a.m. It's another one of those things that how God does sometimes. And I remember going to prayer that morning, and only reason I remember it because for some reason I couldn't shake 4:23, and I went to prayer, and we were all just talking. I was like, one lady was like, "Yeah, I've been up since this time." I said, "I've been up since 4:23," and sounded so random. And so fast forward a couple days later, I just kept getting this like nudging, like from the Holy Spirit. I'm like, 4:20. What is up with 4:23? So one night I laid down, and as I was just still battling worry and anxiety that was trying to overtake me. And I said to the Lord as I began to lay, like, "Lord, I'm asking you, just giving Him His word back. You said you give your beloved sweet rest, and I'm asking for that. And I ask you to quiet my heart with your love." And I went to sleep, and I woke up, and immediately I felt like the Lord said, "Look up Kings." What came to me was Kings 4:23, where there's a first and a second king. So I went to First Kings, and as I read 4:23, I just knew, no, it's second. When I went to Second Kings 4:23, listen to what it says. And he said, "Why are you going to him today?" So this is, I'll tell you in a minute. I'll read it. So he said, "Why are you going to him today? It is neither the new moon nor the Sabbath." She said, "It is well." She is the Shunammite woman. And she is the one, she and her husband had prepared a room for Elisha. That's Elijah's successor. And when he would come through town, he'd stay in their home. And they were so gracious and kind to him. They had no children. And he prophesied that he wanted to do something for her. He asked her, and he said, I think he said, "This time next year you'll have a child." And it was. So I don't know how many years later, because this wasn't an infant, but the Bible keeps referring to this son as a child. And he died. Now, Elisha wasn't there at the time. So in verse 23, she had said to her servant, "Go get," here we go, 22. "And then she said to her husband, 'Please send me one of your young men and one of the donkeys, that I may run to the man of God and come back.'" So she's talking to her husband. Son's died. He doesn't seem to know this. She didn't say anything. So he said, "Why are you going to him today?" And so she said, "It is well." So then she saddled a donkey, and this is verse 24, and said to her servant, "Drive and go forward. Do not slack the pace for me unless I tell you." So he was trying to hurriedly get to him. And so he departed and went to the man of God at Mount Carmel. And when the man of God, Elisha, saw her from afar off, he sent his servant Gehazi to her. And he said, "Look, the Shunammite woman, please run now and meet her and say to her, 'Is it well with you? Is it well with your husband? Is it well with your child?' And she answered, 'It is well.'" Keep in mind, her son has died. She has put him on the prophet's bed, in that room that she had prepared for him, and closed the door. And so just going down, I'm going to just read a little bit more for you. Now, when she came to the man of God, so she told the prophet, the servant, Gehazi, it is well. She got to him, she caught him by his feet, and Gehazi was trying to push her away, but the man of God said, let her alone, for her soul is in deep distress. That's how I felt. And the Lord has hidden it from me, and he has not told me. So the Lord hadn't told Elisha what was wrong with her, or that her son had died. So she said, did I ask for a son, my Lord? Did I not say, do not deceive me? And then he said to Gehazi, get yourself ready. So you read it, but he's telling his servant to go back with her. And he told him what to do, the instructions to lay his staff on the child's face. And so moving forward, it didn't work for him. And he went back, and Elisha came, this verse 32. Now Gehazi, this verse 31, now Gehazi went on ahead of them and laid the staff on the face of the child, but there was neither voice nor hearing. So the child was not coming back to life. Therefore he went back to meet him, and he told him, saying, the child has not awakened. When Elijah came into the house, there was the child lying dead on his bed. He went in, therefore, shut the door behind him, the two of them, and prayed to the Lord. And then so fast forward, he says he returned. This is and when he went up and lay on the child, put his mouth on his mouth, his eyes on his eyes, his hands on his hands, and he stretched himself out on the child, and the flesh of the child became warm. He returned and walked back and forth in the house, and again went up and stretched himself on him. Then the child sneezed 7 times, and the child opened his eyes. And he called Gehazi and said, call the Shunammite woman. So he called her. And when she came in to him, he said, pick up your son. And she went in, fell at his feet, and bowed to the ground. And then she picked up her son and went out. Now I'm going to stop there, but I want to say so much happened. And what really blessed my soul, I want to get back to how the Lord led me. It brought me so much comfort that I literally wrote that it is well on a card, because every time worry started to creep up in my heart, I would speak to my soul by saying what the Lord has said, it is well. And sometimes you have to keep the word in front of you. I guess that's the biggest point of this message, is when God gives you an instruction, when he gives you comforting words, even if he doesn't at the time, you have to keep his promises, his word in your face, because that will bring you comfort in the midst of the enemy or your circumstances trying to vie for your attention, trying to interrupt your peace, trying to interrupt what you got to keep going to do, right? So your family situations, they're their situations. They affect you, yes, but you do the part you can do. That's pray. And I think this word is so beautiful, because everything, how God said, it is well. And I'm here to tell you, it is well. It shall be well. And I truly want to encourage you. I don't know if any of you will actually do it, but I'm going to encourage you to read 2 Kings chapter 4. It's in its entirety. It is just a beautiful. There's so much more I could say about what she did. And I will say this. I think it's interesting that she didn't speak what she saw. She believed God. Before she just closed the door, she remained silent. Anything that came out of her mouth was, it is well. And when she got to the prophet is when she kind of let loose, and he reassured her. So I just want to say there's something powerful about remaining quiet, even when you want to say something. I'll say it to the Lord, of course, but don't start, speaking what you see, the negative things out loud out of your mouth. Stay quiet. And for us talkers, sometimes that's hard. because a lot of times you're just pouring out of your heart and you want to share, but we have to be careful about who we share to and how much, and because at the end of the day, what can any man do? What only God can do. So I want to encourage you with that and leave you with, it is well. It is well. Take this back to the Lord. You can meditate on it. You can reassure yourself of his love. And we can ask, and God truly does answer us. He does. So may the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord be gracious to you. May the Lord lift his countenance upon you and grant you his peace. It is well. God bless you.